detecting talk of the day, Monday, November the 6th, 7:36 a.m. Central Standard Time. You know, you can't judge iron density per se sweeping a DS2. I was going to do a demo, but you can take my word for it. You can't judge iron density per se, okay, because the orientation of the iron, you know, that machine, you know, it just doesn't get talked about. Remember, nails mask non-ferrous, right? We know that. Well, nails also mask other nails. But, you know, depending on the orientation of the iron, you may think there's more iron there than what is, or there may be less there than what is, okay? Anyway, we're going to look at this DS2 this morning. Some of the beginners with this machine, some people may have had this machine for a while. And some of these later versions come out with this iron TID on feature, okay? It's over here in the option menu under settings there. See that? Well, I'm going to show this detector first with that turned on here, okay? Now I'm in the fast program. Pitch tones is max for pitch under the threshold menu. And we're just going to leave the machine in this little exercise here. 6.8 disc silencer is 1. We're in the pitch tone, speed number 3. That's default. I'll turn the audio response to 5. Now, question. Can a non-ferrous target on this machine, when you sweep the call, can it read a 1 in the meter? The answer is yes. Okay, so you beginners out there reading that user's manual, you know, and you're going to see iron range talked about probably in that manual. Okay, well, don't let that mislead you with this fine detector here. Okay, now, that would be considered a challenge target sweeping as such. Okay, I've got the iron volume off. You don't hear anything on that nickel. Okay, that's a challenge target, and it's challenged with a lot of other metal detectors as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn the iron volume back on up to level, I believe level 6 or 7 is default. You get to hear that camera. Alright, so we don't have any detection there, do we? Now remember, the iron TID is on this machine. I showed it to you, okay? Let me get this call right. So I'm going to back this call up. You hear that right there? Now remember what I said. I turned on the iron volume. It's on. I'll even reduce it to 1 because I'm going to be showing you something here. So now the iron volume is at level 1. I'm in pitch tones. Now we know we don't get any detection there. But what if I'm in the wild and I come up on this target? Listen. Hear that? So I've got signal, but that meter right there likes to most sweeps. It likes to read a 1 or a 2. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. See it there? Likes to read a 1. You might get, you know, misled like, what? That's an iron false. I think I'll walk off. Okay, well, you can do that, I guess. Now remember, I had the iron TID is on. The iron volume is at level 1. I'm going to sweep some more here. See that 1 in that meter? You clearly hear that signal, right? Now I turned iron volume to 0. Watch what happens. See that? Now the machine's tendency is to give positive ID, I call it. See that? 44. Alright. I'll turn iron volume back on. Now it can be at level 1 all the way to 10, okay? You're going to see this right here. See that? So you got to see that, okay? Now, you know, you get to use your machine any way you want. Now I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to turn iron TID off. FE TID now is off. Still in the fast program. Nothing's changed. Okay, now iron volume now is at 0. Okay? See what happens? Every time I sweep that, I'm getting a 45. See it there? Okay, now I'm going to turn iron volume on, even all the way up to level 6. See what happens? So in the wild, with that iron TID off, that setting right there, see that right there with that X in it? A person might not be misled on that scenario there when you sweep it in the wild. Now, you know, you may luck out and you may not hit that like that. You may be trucking on and you may come across that nickel like so. Well, if you do that, you're shit out of luck. You're going to hear iron tone. Wonder if you come up on that memory. Wonder if you're using some good technique out there in the higher iron side. You come up a little short on that nail and you see that. Versus that 1 in the meter, okay? Now the earlier versions didn't have this setting right here, okay? I think this started at 1.00 and forward, okay? That's how that works. Now I guess I could leave this camera run and we'll turn this back on. Now you got to see what it did in the pitch tones, right? We're going to go down here and we're going to change to full tones. Okay, now we're in full tones. Iron volume, we're going to leave it on. What happens here? So I'm getting a lot of 1s in that meter. All right. So now we're going to turn iron volume off in full tones. What happens? See that? So same thing again. Again, we don't hear the iron tone. Back with the iron tone on. Get that 1 in the meter. And that's with that on. If we turn this off and we go back to full tones, iron volume is now at level 1. See there, we get that ID in there. We turn the iron volume off and we still get it. Okay. Now let's pick the nickel up since you got to see that. Now I've got iron volume off. Of course it's back on, we get to hear that nail. So that iron FE TID setting, you know, it can affect how this detector behaves. And new users of this machine, you know, you could be thrown for a loop. Glancing at the meter, now if I would have hovered that nickel down there with the iron TID on and the iron volume off, you would have seen positive ID come up. But on sweeps, if you sweep it and you hear it and you look at that meter, your chances are you're going to see a 1 or a 2. And you might walk off. I mean, I don't know what you'd do. All right. Well, that's going to conclude the video for today. I hope everybody has a nice day.